Hello and welcome to Opinions Plus. This is going to be a relatively short video clip. The topic for today is hypocrisy. Nobody wants to listen to hypocrites, but it seems that the world's filled with them. I think everybody has some hypocrisy in them, socially built in, socially acceptable limits, socially positioning themselves in a better light, helping the understanding to go through a little bit better. Truth and hypocrisy go hand in hand, or maybe they're a dichotomy. Maybe they're just not cut out to be in the same path. Well, in humankind, we have this ability to be both, truthful and hypocritical at the same time. We say it all the time in flattery and all these things about, how we should address others in a social environment. Well, that's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? You're taught to be truthful. You're taught to not to lie. You're taught to do those things, but yet we do it. But my point today is not that we do it. And in minor ways, it doesn't hurt anything. It's the degree of harm that these hypocrites in our society get away with. They cause harm. Their lying and their hypocritical concepts only serve one thing, and it's not us. It just serves the hypocrite, or so they think. Now, some people think, okay, well, they're going to get their their just ends at some point, whether in this life or the next. But my concept is, why do we have allowed such flagrant hypocrisy to go forward in the United States, around the world even, but primarily in the United States? I don't follow the news in Europe or Asia or whatever. I get bits and pieces. But there's hypocrisy everywhere. Nothing is, you know, uh, nothing has a clean slate as far as that's concerned. There's a certain pretense that people are, we recognize or respect or whatever, but it is not there in reality. People talk about different realities. Well, here's one. This is a different reality which society cultivates. It cultivates a certain level of hypocrisy. I don't have to go into detail about what those things are. I think most people who can look at this clip see that there's hypocrisy in many of the things that we do. Advertisements loaded with hypocritical concepts. They're for you. Insurance, seatbelts. Yeah, we're all for it. It's good, saves lives. Well, really, it saves money for the insurance company who pushed the concept through. Now, that may be cynical, but it's also a hypocritical view on the fact of these insurance companies as they advertise their or promote, you know, their end. In this case, it helps to save lives. Okay, so it's a good hypocritical thing to do. But that's not their true intent. That's mixed in there, but it's not their true intent is to save money. When I was a kid, there was no seatbelt laws. I hate to keep going back to that, but in such a short time, heck, there were no seatbelt laws. We just drove around. There weren't any seatbelts. The only seatbelts were in the, top end cars, not in the everyday, Plymouth station wagon. No way. Never even thought of it. Slept all over, traveling down the highway. It wasn't until the, situation creates more problems for those in power that create the issue. Once in a while, certain things come along, like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I use that quite a bit. That's a local situation because of the loss of a child. This mother got motivated and created something that changed the system. But that's not the norm. The norm is the money people, the inconvenience, the societal effort to create a better life for all. I don't think so. I think the societal effort is looking for status quo. They just don't want change. So they're not going to push for something, but certain people will. Some for the good, some for the bad. It's the minority of people who have power, as I've said time and time again. But what level do we want to live with in this era, this time of hypocritical lies and deceit? Save the border, all this other nonsense. Mexico will pay for it. Of course, there was no intent for Mexico to pay for the wall. Of course not. Whether there was even a need for a wall, as I've said many, many times. I was in immigration. You don't have to have a wall. You have to have people to enforce the laws here in the United States. Work laws, labor laws, all these things to keep people on the up and up. That will control immigration. You have to have the laws and follow it, not just block a border. That's just hypocritical. Why is it hypocritical? Because you're saying one thing knowing it's not going to happen. You're saying it's true. It's a belief, but in your heart, you know it's not true. It's never worked. Look at the wall in Israel. The Gaza's blowing up and digging under and all that stuff, or the Hamas is doing that. Just look at it. It didn't stop it. It curtails it, it inconveniences it, but it doesn't stop it. It doesn't stop the migration, doesn't stop the terror, doesn't stop the drugs. It's idiot. It's an idiocy. Why? Because first of all, you can't maintain that kind of a structure. You have to enforce the laws from the inside. And we have the laws already on the books which you don't enforce. And that's the hypocrisy. And it's been going on for years and years and years and years and years. And yet nobody does a thing about it. Why not? Is my question. I couldn't get an answer when I worked in the government and immigration. I couldn't get an answer. Just the people in power don't want it because it's money, it's power. And it always comes back to that. But we have to abide, we, the people on this level, this earth that we have, this society which we want to protect, have to hold people to standard, not allow this constant use of hypocrisy and lies to go forward. Yes, we have it all inside us. It doesn't make it right for somebody to go and flagrantly abuse it. There's a certain level of standardization that has to be to make a society function. That's just plain and simple. That's humankind. But when it goes beyond that to cause harm, to cause problems, to cause, in many cases now, this hypocrisy that you're hearing is going to cause death. People are going to die. They probably have died. This COVID thing, millions of people died from COVID. Saying, okay, there's no COVID. Well, of course there was COVID, and people died from it. But, you can believe it or not, but that's the way it is. But that's a hypocritical approach. You're saying one thing, believing totally different. You know the facts are there, and all you want to do is create it. January 6th, not a problem. Okay, is that being hypocritical? You're saying you believe in truth, yet you're deflecting your view from all the things we saw on video, taken at the time, heard from the people, heard from that mealy-mouthed Kevin McCarthy guy. Everybody recognized it at the moment. Suddenly the moment changes, and then the hypocrisy rises to the surface. Why? Human nature? Yes. But there's more to it. We have to protect ourselves from it. From it. Steel ourselves. Have standards. Where do the standards come from? You and me. That's where the standards come from. We provide the standards. Not much you can do unless we do it. So we got to work at it. Go to the good. Keep hope alive. Time and time again. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Pass the link on. If you like it, hit the like button. There's something in the algorithms, and always comment. You never know who's going to read it, and you never know what the effect of a comment is. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Happy New Year. Take care. Best to all. There's always hope. Always hope.